Hi, I'm Mark Nossokoff, Research Director with Hyperion Research. I'm going to start today with considerations for storage and interconnects within your HPC and AI infrastructure. You might recognize this slide from last year, talking about the complex challenges of the current realities, of the then current realities of the HPC market, it not being your father's HPC. What happens when you add AI? What does that do to the mix and the traffic jam? And it adds even further complexities when you add the new elements of LLMs, SLMs, multimodal Gen AI on top of, in addition to the traditional research, engineering, and scientific type of workloads that run on these machines. We'll look at the storage and interconnects, though, in this particular section, starting with the storage forecast, where we're projecting a 9.3% growth rate over the 5-year forecast period out to 2028, growing from a little over $6 billion in 2023 to almost $9.8 billion in 2028. This is the fastest growing element within the broader market areas of HPC. And while this is reflecting the impact of AI-related requirements, we do believe demand is still evolving, and anticipate actually even further increases to this would be quite possible moving into the future. When we look at what people are looking for with regards to their solutions, historically, great emphasis was placed on just speeds and feeds. And while that's still currently a hard requirement, wanting a nice roadmap and cadence of advancing speeds and feeds, further requirements, primary requirements, are being up-leveled to the data platform. And many vendors are talking about the data platform and delivering solutions that are deliver what the users are wanting. They want their data when they want it, where they want it, at the price they want it, with the security that is required across all dimensions of accessing the data, with the primary goal of not just getting the data, but being able to use the data to process and analyze and to derive information from their modeling and simulation, or from their training and or inferencing needs. And part of what's happening as a result in the file system world is that the AI workflows are stressing and the traditional HPC file systems. So while many of the incumbent file systems were developed for the traditional mod sim workloads, particularly the checkpoint restart type of items, the AI workloads are providing a much broader variety of profiles, whether the small block random, in addition to the large block sequential, different access methods, different access frequency for the types of data that's being required. And so what's happening and what you're seeing are a shifting in the file system adoption preferences. We have a study in process that is taking stock of what's happening in the file system adoption space today, and we'll have results of those for you in the coming months. But while we're seeing the traditional file systems continue to be used, there is an emergent class of file systems coming out by several vendors that are basically started with greenfield opportunity with AI and addressing those from the start. In addition to that, we are seeing the broader business models supporting these file systems from Hammerspace, VAST, and now Vidura, which was formerly Panasys, along with Wicca, all delivering software solutions as a business model. Now, if we look at the networks, the requirements from the networks are becoming more complex, especially when you think of it as a hierarchy of networks. We zoom out and start at a data center, multiple data center level. We're not going to show the connectivity between the data centers, but we're going to start looking at what's inside the data center. And we've got cabinets with different nodes and then the elements within the nodes. And what you'll see going through here, the connectivity of the networks is meant for conceptual and illustrative purposes and not necessarily meant to represent the architectural realities. But looking at the cluster level, you can have either independent networks that have the compute networks or the storage networks as independent, or you also have the opportunity to have converged networks connecting things together, and that drives a certain set of requirement and price points. If we dive into the node and at the shelf level that go into the racks, you'll see another different level of hierarchy of networks with different types of connectivity and performance needs, including bandwidth and latency. The connectivity between the GPUs, the CPUs, and the AI and the IO, along with the memory, are another set of requirements and different types of network choices. Now dive down and zoom in even further, and you've got a system of chiplets that are being developed and designed at a chiplet level that have a different set of connectivity, including much tighter and closer distances, different power requirements, and also latency and performance requirements. So when you take all that together, it really prevents a complex environment and strong implications across all levels. We are seeing Ethernet evolve further from its broad adoption and multi-use and multi-vendor provision of that technology. Also, the protocols are evolving and developing more to run on the systems that are requiring different use cases and different profiles. So while this is evolving and expected to continue to involve, one item that is becoming clear is a desire for choice from vendors, both in technologies to choose from as well as vendors to choose those technologies from. So what's next in this area? There's certainly an awful lot more here than we can explore and dive into in detail, but we do expect the cadence of speeds and feeds to increase at its current pace and maybe even accelerate. The data platforms, as I mentioned, we expect those to continue to evolve and become optimized to satisfy the AI workloads. Both addressing some items relative to locality, whether on-prem, in the cloud, or on the edge, as well as the business models, as I mentioned, with increasingly moving to software-only types of solutions. We're also seeing expect standards to emerge and evolve that will address the new realities and will support more choice in the ecosystem for architects and system designers to choose from. Whether it be Ultra Ethernet at the broader intra connecting the clusters together node, or UCIe down at the chiplet level as potential options, as well as a call late last year that closed in January of this year for a sovereign interconnect for the Euro HPC community. As I mentioned, we covered an awful lot of ground and barely touched on, didn't go very deep on anything. We'd love to have further conversations with you. Feel free to reach out with any questions and any areas you'd like to see us explore and research further. Thanks and take care. Bye.